Hey guys, welcome back to Ultima Games. Tamon here. Today we're going to talk about the games releasing for October 2024. Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Now, the first game on the list is an expansion, but it still comes out this month, and that is Diablo 4: The Vessel of Hatred. Now, this game had a rough launch when it released, but the expansion seems to have some players pretty excited and hoping that Blizzard has made some significant improvements to the game, but a lot of players still have mixed feelings when it comes to the game overall. Now, I know a lot of players were hoping for some kind of paladin class, but instead we're getting something called Spiritborn, which seems to be a mix of monk and witch doctor, which is probably the most exciting part about the expansion, to be honest, but hopefully we get some more classes in the future. The expansion overall seems to be very Aztec inspired, and I'll say this, the new class they showed off was actually pretty cool, and I definitely want to try it since I love playing monk in Diablo 3. Obviously it's not the same, but it's the closest thing we got for right now. I'm definitely going to play it when it comes out. I can't wait to see how much they do with the class, and I'm just curious what the expansion will be like overall. Hopefully it's not too bad, but we'll see as we go and play through it. The expansion is going to cost $40, and the deluxe edition is probably going to be like $90 or something. Now, I'm not the biggest horror game fan, but I gotta say, the new Silent Hill 2 remake looks pretty damn good, to be honest. Not only is there a complete graphical overhaul, I mean it is a remake, but its gameplay and movement seem to be very improved as well. Silent Hill 2 is one of the most beloved horror games of all time, and I know a lot of people are looking forward when this remake comes out. The best part about this remake is how seriously the development team seems to be in bringing back this iconic horror game. Konami hasn't had the best track record, but they seem to be finally moving forward in a positive direction. And it really shows with how good this game looks. The graphics, the atmosphere, they're all top notch. It would be especially nice to see the game actually take advantage of PS5's power for once, instead of being stuck at such a low frame rate like how some other games might have. Now, 30 FPS isn't a bad standard for newer games, but it shouldn't be something that they should strive for. I really hope to see Konami really deliver with this one. I know they've made some bonehead choices in the past, but I hope this doesn't become one of them. Next up on our list is Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, and the amount of hype for this game is crazy right now. So many people are excited for this game in the same way people get excited about Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, or even a bit more than that, honestly. Now, the amount of love and effort gone into this title is very much appreciated by the community, and it really shows just how much is going into the development of the game. We've got a huge roster of characters. It'll probably be over 100 if the variations are considered their own characters, which I'm sure there will be because Budokai did this, and the visuals alone are just straight out of the anime itself, with huge open areas with destructible environments. With all that, they're even taking it a step further, including content from every season and every movie to come out from the series alone. That just goes to show you how much effort the developer is putting into this one. I gotta give the studio some serious credit on this one. It feels like if they keep continuing up the hype, they're gonna have a real banger on their hands. With that said, of course, them or Namco could make some kind of mistake down the line, but with all we've seen of the game so far, I doubt we're gonna see that kind of outcome. This game just looks way too good. The graphics are amazing, the gameplay is awesome, and it's just classic Dragon Ball Z, at its peak. And Dragon Ball Z Tenkaichi 3 was one of the best fighting games to ever come out, so I'm really excited for this one. If you're any kind of fan, definitely pick it up. It's definitely worth giving a shot. So there's a lot I want to say about Metaphor ReFantazio. This game is shaping up to be an interesting mix of Persona 5 and Ni no Kuni 2, and those games had a lot to do with social links and building up your reputation. Atlas always does a good job of making unique titles and lengthy games in general when it comes to their RPGs, but I feel like if this game had any kind of issue, I feel like it might suffer a bit from the success of Persona 5. Not in a bad way, but sometimes it might. This game reminds me of Persona 5 in like odd ways, like with the confidant system, of course, and how you build yourself up. Seems to be a real similar thing in Atlas games. I mean, among the Persona series in general, but I just feel like that could be its only main issue. But I feel like from what we've seen from the game so far, I feel like it's shaping up to be a pretty decent experience. I'm very curious how this game will stack up to Persona 5 and the previous Persona titles, and what kind of similarities it will share aside from just the confidant system and whatnot. I'm also curious what the social link system in this game will look like and how it'll play out for each character throughout the story, because from what I've seen so far, there seems to be a lot of different characters, and I'm very curious about it. There is a demo out now, though. I just downloaded it. I can't wait to try it. Hopefully, it'll be more than what we expect it to be. The next game on our list is a party-centric game that lots of people will enjoy playing, and that is Mario Party Jamboree. That is such a mouthful. Now, when it comes to Mario Party, Nintendo always puts its best effort in and really tries to deliver a solid experience with this kind of game. Now there's going to be a lot for this game. There's going to be split screen up to 4 players at a time. There's going to be up to 6 different boards you can play throughout the game. There also seems to be a really big emphasis on team play and lots of motion controlled mini games to compete in. Now I can't even mention how many different types of challenges and face-off mini games there are going to be with this new title. There's going to be up to 30 different stages to choose from, as well as online multiplayer, which is going to be pretty awesome for a game like this, to be honest. That alone should make this version of Mario Party a blast to play through. This is going to make competing with friends a hell of a lot more fun. Nintendo always just knows how to make a great set of addicting mini games be as fun as possible. And I can't wait to see what we have in store for a game like this based on how ambitious the trailers we've seen so far look. I know that felt like a mouthful when I was reading my little description here, but yeah, Mario Party looks like it's going to be really good. I can't wait to see what they really do with this game and just how many different types of mini games it will be. The next upcoming game in October is Romancing Saga 2. Now this game has been ported to a few consoles over the years, but we're getting an amazing looking remaster this month. With this remake, we've got awesome turn-based combat along with a full Japanese and English voiceovers, as well as the soundtrack that I know longtime fans are going to love and appreciate. Now personally, I've never tried the Romancing Saga games, but I'm definitely excited to get my hands on this game, especially with how awesome the level of exploration improvements have gone and how far they've come. I've also been playing a decent amount of JRPGs as of late, and I can't wait to see what this game has to offer. One thing that really caught my attention is the story and the huge selection of characters that you get to interact with. I've always been down for a good JRPG story and some turn-based combat, especially with how Shin Megami Tensei 5 on Switch and Persona 5 Tactica on PS5. I hope to see more of Romancing Saga series games get remake treatment, especially with how great JRPGs have been over the last few years. They've definitely gotten a lot of love and a lot of good treatment over the last few years. It's been really great to see, honestly. Hopefully this game is great. I'm excited for it. Let us know what you think. A game has never given me more mixed feelings than Call of Duty Black Ops 6. While I do acknowledge Call of Duty has wavered through the years, I still end up with a copy each year. The new movement system seems to be very controversial among its players, especially when a lot of them are getting backflip no-scoped in like almost every other match, or just being held back to back. With proximity chat now a huge thing, it makes for interesting moments and some hardcore trolling, which, I mean, it is Call of Duty, but it'll be very interesting to see the full game reception of multiplayer and Warzone as these new systems take over as the core mechanics of the movement system. I know for a fact that the troll videos and memes we've seen so far from the beta are kind of hilarious and ridiculous, but to be honest, a lot of players are really not messing with these new movement mechanics. I'm very curious what you guys think of this. It's very strange. I think it's kind of cool, but I haven't had the chance to play the beta, so I don't know yet. I'll be very curious to see whether or not we keep these kind of changes in the game, or if they're just going to be another controversial thing that makes you not want to play Call of Duty. A cult classic, Ys Nordic is the next big installment in the Ys series. They release these games fairly often, and the fan base is pretty hardcore to boot. Mind you, these games have a long history of being pretty good and very varied as far as story and gameplay goes. The new installment has some new interesting mechanics such as naval combat and some exploration along with the new story and new characters to interact with. The really cool thing about researching the Ys series is that I found out the main character is featured in almost every title, and the game is based off his adventures throughout the series. So basically, an adventure series that has a long history across 10 main games with the same main character, Adol Kristen. I think the idea is pretty awesome, and it definitely makes me want to check out the rest of the series and play the other titles to see how much I might love the series. The only downside is that the lore can get somewhat complicated when trying to figure out the overall story, but on the bright side, a good chunk of games are on Steam, so you'll have plenty of chances to play them if you're really interested in going that far in the series. I think starting here at Ys 10, getting into the series might be a nice move in order to get into the series as a whole, but how you approach the series is up to you and what path you take on your playthrough of the Ys series. The final game on our list is Sonic X Shadow Generations. Now this game has received a lot of love since its announcement due to it being the second game in which Shadow the Hedgehog is featured as one of the main characters. Now the only bad thing I can point out about this game is that they don't give Shadow any guns in his playthrough, which is kinda lame, but overall the game is looking fantastic. We're getting returning villains and old characters from Shadow's side of the story, as well as new abilities and power-ups. Now I know it feels like I'm only hyping up the Shadow section of the game, but there's a lot on the Sonic side too that has been improved, but Shadow is way too cool not to talk about. As far as visuals of the game go, it's looking immaculate on PS5, and it's great to see this game looking so good after so many years. I really like the Shadow sections as well. There are some cool new abilities like morphing into a form that slides through puddles of this weird goop, or getting wings that allows you to fly through the air, and even a glider that lets you glide across water sections of certain levels. The combat for Shadow also looks like it has a bit from Sonic Frontiers vibe to it, which in my opinion is a good thing, and I love seeing it in action each time. The game is sure to be a big hit with Sonic fans, and I know I'll be picking up a copy of the game once it comes out, and feel free to let us know your thoughts and opinions on this upcoming title. I'm super excited for this, I can't lie. We've got a lot of banger titles coming out this month. Let us know your favorites. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and see you next time.